Good morning, good morning. Justin Michael McSweeney, alias Joe Peace, coming to you from a hotel room in Notting Hill, Melbourne. As you can see, my messy bed behind me and my bag packed and ready to hit the road for another day. But just thought I'd jump on here quickly. I spent the day yesterday with my son Nathan. We started a big project, a big landscaping project in Upper Furniture Gully, and it was a magnificent day for many reasons, not just the weather. Just to be with my boy and see, where he's at, um, and it ties in really with what this Rising Suns revolution is all about. It's The Rising Suns concept came about back in 2019. I was working with my son Nathan in the garden. We were working together, father and son, and then he asked me, would his mate Antonio be able to come on board and work with us? And I said, yeah, sure, an extra pair of hands, why not? And that began a procession of teenage boys putting their hand up to come and work out in the garden, whether it's lawn mowing, pulling out weeds, and then extending a bit more sophisticated into landscaping, so instant turf and retaining walls and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, what happened was I sat back one day and realised that these boys were kind of looking for something, but they didn't realise what they were looking for. And a lot of them would say that school was not for them, that working at McDonald's or KFC or Coles or those kinds of jobs that are sort of the entry point jobs for teenagers just wasn't for them. It just wasn't, right? So, and then when I looked deeper into it, I noticed that most of these boys, and I'm sure anyone listening to this right now can identify, had retreated to their bedrooms and sat on their PlayStations for hours on end because the world outside was just a little bit too confrontational. And in this world of technology, that's a pretty safe place to be. And you can play with your mates online, play against them, have a bit of fun. It's all good. But the problem with that is that the world becomes very small and very narrow, and something inside them knows there's more to existence than that. So I feel as though this Rising Suns revolution is about um, reprising that concept that I started, 6 years ago now, inadvertently, like it landed in my lap. But the reason why I'm talking now in terms of reprising it is because, unfortunately, that business ultimately collapsed, and that was a very hard period of my life. And it was the end of 2021. I had to basically call the boys into my office one by one and let them know they no longer had a job. And there's lots and lots and lots of reasons as to how that came to be. And it's a period of my life that has taught me so much. Um, and realistically, I could point the finger in the other direction, but it really came back on me and it reflected me and where I was at. Uh, I had lived my life, like I've said on previous videos, playing someone else's script and accepting other people's programming and other people's ideas and not really embracing my own. I was looking outside of myself for all the answers. And as I've touched on before, those answers were already within. I just didn't know how to access them. So the journey for me over the last couple of years since the failed or collapsed business, I'm not allowed to use the word failed, hey Rod, the collapsed business and the marriage that didn't last, was primarily on me. And I take full ownership of that, full responsibility of that. But I know in my heart that what I set out to achieve was an absolutely beautiful and pure thing. I just got lost. I got caught up in the ego. I got caught up in uh, yeah, just I don't know. I got overwhelmed by things, and I didn't really have the foundation in place to be a company director or a boss of. I think I had 22 staff at one stage there, not all just teenage boys. There was a lot of other people that were on board to try and steer the ship with me. But anyway, I yeah, I'm back. I'm back. I'm ready to go again. I'm excited. And the reason I touched on the day with my boy yesterday was it just dawned on me just how much he has grown and developed such a self confidence, self assurance at the age of 23. So 6, 7 years down the track, uh, if you'd said to me he would be where he is now, I wouldn't have believed you. So the concept, the rising suns, is not about Joe. It's about showing people individually who they are. And when you show them who they are and they start to feel who they are, that confidence just exudes. It just sort of flows out of them. So everything that they do is with confidence and with purpose, and they're driven, and it's just incredible. My body is buzzing as I speak right now because I am so excited about this revolution. Because yeah, we're at the precipice. We need to make some change in this world, and I feel as though a lot of teenagers out there are ready to take the wheel and steer us in the right direction. And one of them is my boy, and I'm tipping there's thousands of them out there. In fact, I've got uh, nephews out there that are ready to do the same. It's an interesting generation that's coming through. So I don't think I'm going to have to do terribly much. I feel as though you just sort of give them the torch and say, all right, you find your own way, and they will. They will. They just need to be given that leg up from that period of uncertainty when you're 15, 16 years old and you don't know what the adult life looks like. You're not really well rounded. You're not really well, certainly for me, I wasn't ready for the adult world, and I'm glad in a way that I wasn't because it kind of taught me a whole lot of stuff. It's taken a long time. It's 40 years down the track. I'm learning a couple of things, just a couple, not many, but yeah. So here we are. Rising Suns Revolution is being rebirthed. There's no date, no time around that. It'll flow into place in due course, but I just need to speak it, and I need to share it, and I need people to hear what it's about, and let's just see what the universe has to offer in terms of supporting this particular uh, uprising because it's so necessary, and yeah, the world is going to be a magnificent place. It is already a magnificent place, but we just not many of us see it just yet. So I'll leave you with that. Have a wonderful day. Talk soon.